Hi everybody, it is Monday and we are Speaker Insight, and this is Kelly.
Hello.
I'm Helena, and we help speakers, authors and coaches to build a business on their terms. And we are in Scotland today, and it's a little bit of a somber one today, so we are going to ask you for the buzz in your business. And of course, I think you all know us, those of you who know us, you know, we're pretty authentic in everything that we do, and we're up in Scotland delivering the Unstuck event for tomorrow. So that's actually why we're doing the Facebook Live today rather than tomorrow, which is going to freak everybody out tomorrow. Tomorrow at lunchtime, people are going to be like, what?
Where are they?
Where are
lunch
they?
dates?
So I think, maybe I should do some posts for tomorrow saying, hey, go watch yesterday's. Maybe that's what I need to do.
We'll keep you entertained, don't
We
worry.
will indeed. But basically, we're running a boot camp for a very good friend of ours tomorrow, and so rather than kind of cram everything in, remember we do business on your terms. So you know, it really is us demonstrating and being role models for, if you can't do it on one day, keep the promise, but actually renegotiate how you keep the promise.
Because we realise, haven't we, that we've done nearly a year and a half, nearly 2 years worth of Facebook Lives, and we've never missed 1 week.
Never missed a week. That's consistency.
That's consistency.
You know, and again, on our terms, and it's what we recommend that you do so much of the time. So we are here with a Facebook Live called Who's Got Your Back? And so we do want to hear the buzz in your business. I'm pleased to see that there are actually 2 people here. It's quite exciting. So to the 2 of you who are here, I have no idea who you are because I can't see that far away from where the camera is at the moment. Part of the buzz in our business is obviously we've got the event tomorrow and then we're sort of flying back. But we've also got the Connect and Create Day on the 9th of October, and we've probably only got about 6 spaces left. So if you are a member in the Connection Hub and you love the connections that you're making in there and you actually want to meet some of the people that you've seen in person, then please do come along. It's a brilliant opportunity for you to really come, connect with others who are like-minded, like-valued people, and then get your head down and actually work on some stuff that you've been avoiding or hesitating about, or you haven't just known what to do with, because Kelly and I do a 20-minute coaching session with you as well. So it really is worth coming if you've not been to one, and if you've been to one and you know you've got the date free, why haven't you booked yet? That's really all I'm
just
gonna
looking,
say.
we need 12 more members in the hub to have 5,000 people in there.
So go invite some people.
Invite somebody.
The 3 of you who are currently here, go find a friend and let's see what actually happens. Josefa's here, so that's one name I can actually see. I'm just going to be peering at things left, right and centre. So, as I say, we are helping a friend out. Karen is an awesome coach that we've known together for about 4 or so years.
Yeah.
You know, it's a deep relationship, and in the way that, you know, sort of partly what this live is about relationships. And we've worked with her certainly in the past and been connected to her for this whole time. And at the start of the year, she had some pretty bad news. She got diagnosed with cancer, and recently she's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse, but she's completely committed to really not wanting to cancel the event. So you may or may not remember, in June I came up here and ran a boot camp. So she does a quarterly boot camp for people, and we are now up here running the next boot camp, which is amazing. So we've worked out how we can actually deliver the event together, which, to be honest with you, is something that we've actually always wanted to do. It just wasn't necessarily the way that we wanted
values alignment. We've coached on the same topics. Yeah. So she has a slightly different avatar. She has speakers, authors and coaches in her group, but she also has quite wider, traditional bricks and mortar business. Yeah. So our message and our teaching is quite adaptable to be able to accommodate for everybody. Yeah. But that's why we're here, and in her beautiful house. Yeah,
which is, and it is really beautiful. Like, we're sort of slightly coveting it a little bit, so we thought we'd choose this couch.
Becca's saying the buzz, as of yesterday, she's published 250 articles this year. Her
Honey,
consistency.
Your consistency is just awesome. And honestly, for any Beth, please feel free to put a link through to your Medium account, because the value that you provide in those is just phenomenal. Every time I read one of your blogs, I go, and you get me thinking. So you know, please do put the link in there. That would be amazing. So what we really want to do today is really talk about making sure that people, who's got your back in various different areas. Because when you feel like you've got support, you actually feel like you can push yourself out of your comfort zone that little bit more. You're more efficient, you feel confident about delegating to others, you actually don't waste your energy and thought on what ifs, because you know that somebody somewhere's got your back in a variety of areas. So that's really what we're going to focus on. This is a pen and paper job. There is a little bit of work to do whilst you're doing it, so please grab that whilst I rabbit on, and I'm going to hand over to you for the first question that really is useful.
I know we've got some people commenting, so hi everybody. So do get even though it's going to be a short one, we still want you to take action, because we're not going to change the style of our lives.
Truly.
What I want you to think about first of all is asking the question is, who would you call on when unexpected things happen in your life, right? The severity of that is from small little dramas to big traumas.
Yeah.
And just have a think about, okay, who have I got that immediately comes to mind?
Yeah.
I know some of you who follow me, who are friends with me, will know that I dislocated my knee this week. This week, I don't know what day we're on. It's Monday.
It's Monday. It's weird. It's Monday. It's Monday.
So I dislocated my knee last week, and I had it was the first day back off my holiday, so I was like ready to go, and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do to keep going at that pace? But I have to adapt. I have to adjust. So actually I changed all my meetings to Zoom meetings, thank God for technology.
Yes.
So I could still carry on with them, but I just couldn't be with those people in person. Sorry, Adil and Steve.
No.
And our accountant and stuff. But then obviously my husband was like, had my back completely, like everything around the house was completely done, didn't have to think about anything. He even helped me out of the bath when I got stuck.
I know. Thank God she had her phone in the bathroom. Don't go there, people, don't go there.
But also, Helena, yesterday when we were flying up to Scotland, and all the airport staff, everyone was there to support, right? And you have to ask. I was being really stubborn and going, I don't need that little bleepy car thing at the airport. When they saw me hobbling along to check it, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you?
Three different people stopped her to basically say, we could get you some assistance.
So it's like, that's what we want to think about, is that there are always people there that want to help.
Yeah.
You have to let them in.
Yeah.
But you have to also ask. We'll go through that in a little bit later. But the first thing is actually having that subconscious peace of mind that you have got people around you.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want you to do is actually to get pen and paper out and actually look at the Wheel of Life scenario. So a lot of you will be familiar with this IP, this methodology that a lot of coaches would use.
Yeah.
Sarah always take the assistance.
Yay, good for you, babe. Yes, and definitely, right?
So just write down these categories on a piece of paper. Finance, health, relationships, spirituality, career, social, and family.
7 of them.
I'm just going to do it one more time. Finance, health, relationships, spirituality, career, social, and family. And what I want you to do is actually think, who springs to mind as somebody who you know in those categories that would support you, or could support you, or has supported you in the past. Yeah. Because what this will help you do is it will help assess where you've got a lot of strength, where you feel that you're supported in an area of your life, but also highlight the gaps, right? And I've just been working with a client called Carolyn Hobday, who I'll tag in here at the end. She's coming up with some awesome app methodology to help you do this in more detail. Yeah. But this is just a draft to get yourself thinking and get it started of where you're at and where the support is in your life. Yeah. We also have done a live quite deep on support levels. So I also
and support levels, but more specifically about asking, because we know that speakers, authors, and coaches are your own worst enemies. Yeah. It really is one of those things where asking for help is something that we feel we can't do because it undermines our professionalism or whatever the story is that you make up. So we did a really deep dive on how to ask and how to get beyond the little voice that stops you doing so.
So I've just put the link to that live in there, which is not what we're focusing most on today. This is actually looking at who's got your back.
We're getting practical.
Yeah. So in this side of things, when you look at that Wheel of Life scenario, you can go, okay, so if something happened in my thing, this happened in my health area of my life, so I had my dislocated knee. Yeah. So when I put it out there, the amount of people that gave me practical advice about icing it, elevating it, all those types of things. The amount of people that sent healing to me, the amount of people that then actually assisted on the practicalities, things of moving around, and the technology that supported me to carry on doing my work whilst not moving. Yeah. They were the things that I would have initially listed. They're people that I know will always be in my corner in that. Yeah. But they might be completely different to the people that then might support me in finance. Mm-hmm. So say, for example, we had a conversation with we changed our accountant this week.
New accountant.
So again, we were asking different types of questions to her than I would do from a healer, right? So you start planning out in your wheel of life.
Around the same area is what we're saying. Yeah. So when something happens to you in one area of your life, you can get support from that full circle of all 7 areas. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but sometimes we only go direct and go, it's my health, so what do I need to know health-wise? But actually, it's much wider than that. And if you go holistic, it's so much better, isn't it?
And I also think that it helps that even if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of friends, so say, for example, I like to have like just a few close friends rather than like a mass of people, but I think that's quite an introverted trait to have. Yeah. But if you look for everything from one person, this could be your partner, it could be your best friend, that's a lot of pressure to always be going and asking that person for support or for advice or those types of things. Yeah. So when you look at this wheel of life and you try and map out different areas and different intensities of relationships.
I'm just going to hold you for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
So Nikki, the 7 categories are finance, health, relationships, spirituality, career, social, and family.
And Sarah's just said no category is an island. 100%
no category is an island is an awesome thing to quote.
So just have a think about that. And it might be that you might, our accountant will use every now and then. It's not somebody that's going to be consistent, but I know that if something came up, I could phone her. Yeah. The second part of this, looking at your circle of influence, let's call it, is actually then looking at, well, where do I fit? Mm-hmm. How do I show up in my friends' lives?
And who do I show up for?
Yeah. So what's the area that I feel like I've got expertise in or advice or wisdom that I could offer? Yeah. So you make sure that you're showing up for people like that.
That's right.
And that's why, with Karen, that we're here, because we have a link of values, a link of our career, and we've got a deep friendship. Yeah. So we actually cover, and you might cover more than one area for people.
And again, a bit like no category is an island, you don't just have singular skills. You may well be a very talented healer alongside being a very talented marketer.
Yeah, definitely. So they're the 2 things that I want you to start thinking of is, who do you know that can fit into those areas of the wheel of life? And where do you fit? Yeah. So that gives you that sense of belonging, a sense of being useful, and not just being a taker. Yeah. And that's what normally stops people from asking, but that's what we cover in the live that I just put down below.
That's exactly it. So it is also, you'll know that we've got inside the Connection Hub, which is the group where all of our speakers, authors and coaches actually have the conversations. We have a hashtag call out post, which is one of the things that allows people to reach out for help. So if, for example, you notice that in one of the areas you go, I don't actually know who to ask for help. Sometimes people will use places like the Connection Hub to be the place where they ask for help. So please, sort of no stone unturned. Think about, if I don't have anything in there, where could I get that? And that's a really great question to ask yourself. So even though you've got an idea of who's in your network, we talked a little bit about the whole kind of, you might have a problem kind of asking for help. We really do, I beg you, and it's not often I'll say something like that, get over your big bad self, like truly, because here's the thing, how do you feel when people actually ask you for help? It makes it like we're human beings, we're connected in our humanity, we love to help. And so there's something here about creating the win-win-win. When you ask someone for support or help or guidance in some way, there's a little part of them that gets to give. And we just said give in order to allow people to feel really special, that they are not only part of your world, but that their expertise, that they're seen for the gift that they bring, whatever that is. It may just be that I have one really good friend who, honestly, if I need nurture, she just comes around and cooks. And it's a weird thing,
it's
right?
Not me.
It's so not her. It's so not her. But that's kind of what it comes down to. So,
but we see that, don't we, in the hub, right? When people put a Q&A question out or something, we are always completely overwhelmed by people's generosity, their wisdom, the amount that they support, just complete strangers.
Yeah.
But people love to feel useful.
God, yeah, don't you? I mean, like, who here doesn't feel like to feel that way? So it is really important to also have the mentors, the freelancers in your network that can guide you and that you can outsource work to. But the type of support that gives you most peace of mind, and this is the bit that we really want to highlight to you, are your 3 a.m. friends. So Susan Pinker, there's a really great TED talk, and yeah, brilliant. So Susan Pinker actually did a really good study. She's a developmental psychologist. She's done a lot of research around communities and around what actually 3 a.m. friends are. Those are the ones that really you can call on when the shit hits the fan. Those are the ones that will just drop everything for you safely. So, you know, sort of, they'll take care of what happens in their world to come and be with you. They will listen to your rants. They will support you without judgment. They will pick up your kids from school. They'll, you know, whatever it is that's going on for you, they will reach out and go, I'm here. So that you don't have to carry the load, and that's massive.
It's just the peace of mind. Subconsciously, you feel like you have that safety net, don't you?
That's exactly it.
You can fall on if need be, which gives you that little bit more confidence to do stuff.
Completely. Now, here's the thing. You don't actually need very many of these.
One of the speakers yesterday just needed to know that there was someone she knew at the front row. See, yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. It's exactly that. And so the amount of help that you give can be minuscule in your opinion, but in their opinion, it can just do everything. It's the thing that stops your shoulders being up here and actually just allows you to breathe deeply and easily so that you can actually access more of the resources that you have to tackle whatever it is that's going on for you. The key thing that we're really saying here is that the 3 a.m. friends, those people that, you know, show up to support you, it takes effort and time to develop these, and it takes nurture. So, you know, if you think that you've got some, maybe even just pop them through a little note right here, right now, the one that springs up for you, and just go, you know, I love you. I love you. Thank you for being in my world, because that is one of the best things that you can actually do. Allowing them to know what they do for you is a really great way of nurturing that relationship.
Yeah, so Nikki's just said here that she's a safety net for so many people, but like me, she's not great at asking for herself, so it's a great reminder.
Yeah, and specifically for people like the two of you in that case is you know, sort of, I think we are slightly different around this. You know, I'm pretty good at asking for what I need. Yeah. But having that list, that's why we're actually asking you. It's a little bit like when they say the way to combat stress is you don't learn the deep breathing when you're at a 9 out of 10, you learn it when you're at a 4 out of 10. So that's why we're asking you to make the list now, so that you actually go, okay, I'm in a situation where I need some help and assistance, but I'm not good at asking and I don't even know where to go. But if you've got that list, it just means that it becomes a functional thing to pick up the phone to that person. I personally would actually say, have the list of names, put a number by the side of it, because when you're in mode, actually all you need to do is type in a number and go.
And I'd highly suggest, Nikki, that you have a look at the Ask Live that we put the link into, because we give you little challenges in there.
Yeah, for sure.
To start exercising that ask muscle. I'm very glad I said ask muscle.
Kelly Tyler, honestly, I nearly put your middle name when I just said that.
So just do that. But I think so what Helena's been talking about, and this is the most important, is the physical, the people element of your support network, because they're the ones that you know, they just provide that deeper meaningfulness. Yeah. And it's a two-way interaction, right? Yeah. You get fulfilled from helping them and vice versa. Yeah. But what we don't want you to do is to ignore other areas of support.
No.
So from an external point of view, I also want you to consider the systems and software that have your back, right? Because they're quite easy, because once they're in place, you don't have to nurture that relationship.
Right. No, you really don't.
Like,
other than occasionally pay money to it.
Yeah,
but you know, that's about it. For some of them, yeah.
And make sure that they're all intact and stuff. But actually, they're the things that you, once they're done, and they are a nightmare and annoying and boring to put in place.
But ask for help if you don't know how to do it.
But also, is Kelly on painkillers? Yes, I am.
Yes, yes, truly. I'm also having to make her sit down every time she tries to go and make a cup of tea. Because I'm like, honey, you need. Let me do that.
I think she just thinks I'm a bit delirious, but I'm always delirious. So I want you to think about external things that have your back, because once they're in place, I think really deep subconsciously, you also relax to another level, because all those worst case scenarios, you're running an event and one might get hit by a hurricane and all those things that you're not actually consciously aware of the what if is going to happen. When you've got things in place externally to cover that, again it gives you another level of feeling okay. So talking about that, one of those things is insurance. So as I said, we were having our conversation with our accountant this week, and actually if you're a speaker, author and coach, then the basics of having public and private liability and all those types of things are essential. But what she said to me, she's like, oh, you're laid up with your dislocated knee. It could have been a lot worse. Have you thought about income protection? Have you thought about stuff like that? And I'm like, no. Is that even something I should consider? And she's like, anyone that's really quite self-employed nature.
I was just going to say, a lot of people will think about that when they are employed by others, but they may not think about it when they're self-employed. It's something that we might dismiss. So this is just us bringing your attention to those types of things.
So I'm just reading Sarah's comment that she said when she needed help the day my life changed, it was the business card in the wallet that saved her life.
Beautiful.
You just don't know, do you? But your phone has those SOS contacts. Your iPhone has that whole, in an emergency, call these people. Create that little Wheel of Life card for yourself in an emergency in these areas, whatever it is, not just health. Call these people, right? So have a think about insurance. Have a think about what are those things that you can have in place. I know, like for Karen, I know having life insurance is an absolute godsend for her and her partner, right?
Partly because of the reassurance of if the worst should happen, things are in place.
And it's just that subconscious peace of mind side of things. So think about what might you need to have insured so that you can have that. And she has an ICE list.
Great.
Needing an emergency contact one. The other thing is also contracts, right?
And this is taking it down to the almost everyday level now.
Because with contracts, they're the things that you only really need when the shit hits the fan.
Exactly.
When things go wrong.
Exactly.
But you only have to have them in place before that happens, so that you've got some, something legal to come back on. So, they're normally in place when relationships go bad or things go bad for you to have your back. So do think about being preventative. If you've got a book or you're a speaker, then you bloody should have.
You should have
contracts that you've either signed from your agent or your own contracts with your speaking contracts. And I know that we have had some questions in the hub about speaker contract templates and stuff, and we have all of that in our Changemaker membership. So if you want to go and grab them and download them, then I'll put the link in a bit about our membership. But also, it's your job to be preventative as well. So as a coach, you should have coaching contracts for your one-to-ones so that they know about cancellation policies and things. The T's and C's on your websites. If you're doing joint venture relationships, you need to have contracts in place on commission and when things are paid and levels of payment and all these types of things.
Contracts are actually about clarity. Contracts provide a clarity for people, for both parties, to understand what's required of them, what's required of someone else, so that actually things don't go wrong. They are really preventative, as you say.
And then so you've got the insurance, you've got the contracts, and as you were saying about the daily management, you've just got the software that runs your business for you, right? So you've got your marketing that relatively, 20-40% of it is going to be automated, scheduled posts as well.
And if it isn't, come talk to us.
But you've also got the email nurtures that go out. You've got all the things that you've actually got these systems in place so that actually your business can run. I'd want you to be in a place that your business can run at least for a couple of weeks without you having to touch it. And it still doesn't feel like you've gone off the side of the planet.
Because we never know what's going to happen, right? So it really is a case of, assess who's got your back. So the calls to action from this particular live, and I know we're sounding a little bit somber. That's because we are actually. We've really been hit with, how does this actually show up for speakers, authors and coaches? And how do we actually help you build a business on your terms? Part of it is to make the consideration around this. So we urge you.
It's hit us, hasn't it? Like we're thinking about our business relationship and what if something happened to one of us. And so all these questions come up, and we didn't want to not share that with you because you're in the same situation as us.
Yeah. So we're always going to help you kind of learn from us. Agreed contracts help manage expectations. You're right, Beth. So what we really want to do is make that list. Do those 7, make the list of who's got my back in these areas and for whom am I the support in these areas, because it might actually be that you've got some things that you can do as far as that goes. Make a practical list, have your ICE list, but with numbers as well, because as we say, when the shit hits the fan, when you go into panic mode, we go into foveal vision, we go into this kind of steady panicked mode. And so whatever you have around you, if it's a list with a number that's actually in there, it's much easier for you to reach out for help than to have to look for who to go to.
And if you have got gaps in your list, that's where the hub comes in. Use the hashtag call out post. Ask us, we are the ultimate connections, hence why we set up the Connection Hub.
Yeah.
Ask us who do we know in the fields that you can start building that relationship up with.
That's it.
Remember, you're not here to be energy vampires, to take.
Good point.
You just want to see who do I need to nurture, who do I need to get to know, who can I offer assistance and help with to build that connection up so I don't have gaps in my wheel.
That's it. So we're sending you off to actually do some serious work on your business so that you can run your business on your terms, whatever happens.
And we'll be back to Tuesdays next week.
On the 17th. Take care.